I think it started actually when I was studying my junior year abroad in Florence. I spent a year studying art history there and watching the Italians walking on the city streets in what they say in Italian is the passeggiata, or city stroll. It's like a fashion show outside of your door every day. And so that really was the kernel of the idea for this exhibition, and wanting to capture that joyous expression of style that you see every day in the streets of Milan, Florence, and Rome. But really, I wanted also to showcase some of the highlights in the V&A's own collection. We've never done a show about Italian fashion before, and it's also a story that hasn't really been told in a museum setting as thoroughly as we've been able to do. We wanted to look at the whole cycle from the post-war period to the present and showcase some of those designers, both that people will expect to see, but also people that they may not yet know very well. One of the most surprising things was a group of garments in our collection that I actually had never seen before. It was one woman's wardrobe that was made by a local dressmaker in Turin. It was made, this wardrobe in the 1950s, and it was made for a wealthy woman who could have afforded the best of French couture but chose to buy local. And it showcases Italian craftsmanship. It showcases couture clothing made to measure, bespoke for the individual client. And so the clothes themselves are kind of time capsules back to a time when Italian fashion was really about developing a relationship with your local dressmaker, and that featured the best in terms of seamstress skills, tailoring, and other techniques, as well as incredibly beautiful textiles. So one of my favorite pieces in the exhibition is a dress that was worn by Lee Radziwill, who is the sister of Jacqueline Kennedy. And she was known for being one of the best dressed women in the world, and she still is known for her incredible taste and style. In 1966, she chose an Italian to dress her for Truman Capote's black and white ball. It was described by some as not just the party of the year, but the party of the decade. It was held in the Plaza Hotel in New York. Some 500 of Truman Capote's closest friends were invited. And so Lee Radziwill chose not a French designer to dress her for the ball, but an Italian. And she chose a dress by Mila Schoen that's now in the V&A's permanent collection. And it's a all-over sequined, full-length gown that was designed only a year after Mila Schoen first displayed her wares on the catwalk. I hope that when people leave the exhibition that they'll have learned something about the craftsmanship of Italy, about the level of quality and of fine tailoring and beautiful textiles that the country is famous for. These may be well known or kind of assumed, but I think some of the examples on display really kind of drive that point home. The other thing that I think that the Portland visitor might find interesting is also the amount of entrepreneurialism that this show showcases. There are so many examples of risk-taking in business that are on display in this gallery. One of the other things that I want people to take away from this show is the fact that really the United States was so key in this story. Without the American department store buyers and the American women clients, Italian fashion really would not have blossomed the way that it did after the Second World War. American department store buyers were like the filter of taste for so many regions of the country. The buyers from Macy's, from I. Magnin, these were the people that went to these first fashion shows in Italy after the war, and the choices that they made to then bring back to the US and showcase in their stores ended up on the backs of some of the best dressed women in the world, the American affluent female client. And that was a surprise to me when I was researching this exhibition, and I hope it's something that people will note before they leave.